Alright, here's your guys' homework on factoring by grouping. Numbers 1 through 4. Numbers 1 through 4. Alright, so when we do factoring by grouping, if there's 4 terms, you guys, usually trying out factoring by grouping is always the best, or a way that you could factor, and it could possibly work. So if I group those two, when I look at the first parentheses, right, if you strictly just look at the numbers, I notice I can factor out an 8 out from both 8 and 64, right? That's the first way to start. Now, if you look at the variables, one of them has 3 r's and the other one has 2. So that means you could take away 2 r's from both of them. So you can factor out an r to the second. Now, thinking about the number, if we factor out an 8 from 8, there's just 1. And if you take 2 r's away from that 3 r's, there's just 1 singular r left over. Now, if you take 8 out of 64, all you're left with is minus 8. And since you already took 2 r's away from both terms, you just have r minus 8. Now for the second parenthesis, you can't factor out anything, so the only thing you can factor out is a 1. Then once you get to this step, you guys factor out an r minus 8 from both of them. So all you guys are left with is 8r squared plus 1, and then r minus 8. Okay, number 2, group. First parenthesis, okay, I notice I can factor out a 3 from 12 and 21, and I can factor out 2 p's from both. So you guys are going to get, okay, so for the numbers, right, 12 divided by 3, that would give us 4, because you're taking a 3 out from 12. And since you're taking 2 p's away from p to the third, it's just going to give you 1 singular p. Now for this one, we took out a 3 out from minus 21, so that would give us minus 7. And you took 2 p's away from p squared. So no p's left, so you just have 4p minus 7. Okay, from the second set of parentheses, you can factor out a 7 from both. So 28 divided by 7 will give you guys 4p, and 7 divided by 7 would give you guys minus 7. Now factor out 4p minus 7 out from both of those, and then we just have 3p squared plus 7 and 4p minus 7. Okay, number 3. Group. First set of parentheses, I can factor out a 2 and x squared. So factor out a 2 from 12, you get 6. Take away 2 x's from there, so we just get 6x. Factor out 2 from 2, so that'll just give us 1, and then take 2 x's away from 2 x's, and you have no x's left. So all you're left with is 1. Okay, second set of parentheses, you can factor out a negative 5 from both. So negative 30 divided by negative 5 is 6x, and negative 5 divided by negative 5 will give you guys 1. Great, factor out a 6x plus 1 from both, so we get 2x squared minus 5, and the 6x plus 1. And lastly, number 4, we group. Okay, first set of parentheses, you can factor out a 2 from 6 and 16, and you can factor out 2 v's. So if you factor a 2 out from 6, that would give you 3. And you took away 2 v's from the 3 v's, so you just left over with 1 v. You factor out a 2 from negative 16 to give you negative 8, and you take away 2 v's from those 2 v's, so no more v's on that one. Okay, this one, you can factor out... What can you factor out from this? 7. You can factor out a 7 from both 21 and 56. So 7 out of 3v minus 8. Factor out a 3v minus 8 from both, so we have 2v squared plus 7 times 3v minus 8. And there you guys go. Okay.